In this video, I'll give you an introduction to working out the period of a graph. And basically, a period is how long it takes for a graph to get back to the place that it started, to kind of repeat its cycle. And so in a normal, this is a basic sine graph. So this is sine x. And so it started at 0 and it took 360 degrees to get back to the point where it would kind of carry on looping. And so the period for a normal basic sine and cos graph is 360, and for a tan graph it takes 180 degrees to get back to that place. Then where variations can occur is when there's a number in front of the x. And so if you asked what is the period of this, you'd answer it like this. You'd say the period for sine should be 360. Because there's a number in front of x, I'm going to divide it by 2. And so the period in this case is 180. And what's happening visually there is that you've got a graph that happens twice as often. And so it would be after 180 degrees that this graph has got back to the beginning again. Let's do one or two quick worked examples before I show you some other funky trick. So what's the period of this graph? You just say to yourself it should be 360 for cos, but because there's a coefficient, I'm going to divide it by 3. So what is the period of this graph? It's 120. One more. What is the period of this graph? The coefficient in front of the x is still 1, like a normal graph. And so it's a kind of a trick question, but the period would still just then be 360. The fact that it's minus 30, you think what comes out of that bracket, so that's positive 30. So this means it's just gone 30 to the right. And so it's a normal sine graph, except that it's 30 to the right. And so it still takes 360 degrees to get from the start to the finish of our actual graph as we see it. And so don't be tricked or confused with those. Last one, say this is a graph, and let's just keep it really simple. And they ask you what is the period of kx if kx equals f for x. And so all that you do is you just say, okay, so that's just my graph that I had, my fx graph, but wherever there's a x, I must now put 4x. And so it will just look like that. And the minute that I've done that I've substituted what's in brackets for the x, it just becomes our normal trick of what should a sine graph be, 360, but I divide it by whatever's in front of the x, so that will leave me with 90. And so the period would be 90 for this graph. I hope that helped you just to understand what periods are in graphs and how to calculate them. And this is, at the end, is quite a common, almost trick question. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.